There are 5 words that I don't think any entrepreneur ever wants to hear, and those are, I'd like my money back. Hey there, it's Nafissa Shireen, and welcome to Living Forward TV, where we help you to create a thriving business you absolutely love all around your personal freedom. And today's the second episode in a 2-part series all about refunds. A question I get asked all the time is, what do I do when potential clients ask if I offer refunds? And as much as nobody really wants to discuss refunds, it is so important to have that conversation in your business because it does come up. And last week, we dove into what to do when a client wants to know if there's a refund policy before they buy. And if you haven't watched it, I'm going to encourage you to hit pause and go back and watch it because we examined how to melt that objection away. And I gave you some scripts on how to do it that you could implement right away. But you know what? Sometimes, despite all good intentions, the inevitable request for a refund will come in. And when they do, you absolutely need to stick to your refund policy. And sometimes it's going to make you unhappy if you have to give money back and you've already invested your time or given access to your intellectual property. And other times it's going to make the client unhappy if they don't qualify for a refund when they want one. But what's really key here is consistency, because that's what ultimately builds trust, and trust is what reduces or eliminates refunds altogether in the long run. And you may be wondering, okay, well, what should my refund policy be? And as I said last week, the good news is it's entirely up to you. And it may be as simple as, I don't give refunds, or perhaps it's a little bit more complex, or maybe you have different policies for different offerings. Whatever it is, though, you want to make sure it's well documented and in a place that your clients can see it before they ever move forward with you. And you also want to make sure that it's a place that you can refer to and refer them to if the issue ever comes up. Now, you might be thinking, and it would be totally natural, right? I don't want to give refunds, but I know that potential clients will want to see I stand behind my work. Well, that's what this second episode is all about. I have a few suggestions and ideas to help you to inspire your own policies. And in your handout today, I'm taking it deeper and I'm peeling back the curtain and I'm showing you what my refund policies are, including what's written in my client agreements. Now, I want to make something very, very clear. I am not a lawyer. Everything I'm about to say and share with you are my opinions and how I run my own business. Make sure that any policy you implement in your business, especially ones that impact agreements and obligations, are reviewed by your own lawyer so you know that they comply with all of your local laws. Now, as we discussed in our last episode, when you provide services or access to your intellectual property through content, downloads, videos, once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. And that's why I recommend having very tight refund policies. And I say policies because what's appropriate can really differ depending on what the offering is. Now, for high-end one-on-one services such as consulting, coaching, or other professional services like a photographer, an architect, a designer, where it involves a lot of your time, a lot of your attention, and likely expenses on your part, I recommend a flat, no refund, no cancel policy. And when you think about it, in those situations with those clients, it's not only the client committing to you, but you're also committing to the client. And having a no refund policy around this agreement really honors that energy and intention for both of you, because now you both have to show up and participate fully. Now, for any programs or offering that has a no refund policy, you want to make sure that it's very clear to the client up front and included in your signed agreement. I even like to make sure that the client initials that specific part of the agreement so I know they saw it. Now, for self-paced programs or entry-level group programs, if you stand behind your work and you know that your clients will have results if they do the work, then I do believe you need to stand behind it and have an actual refund policy. Having a policy in place will give people a lot of comfort at the purchase point, and not because they aren't 100% committed, but rather they just want to make sure that you are. Now, to be fair, a A lot of times when people invest in self-paced programs or lower-end groups, they may not show up fully and they take a passive approach, or they change their mind, or maybe they lose enthusiasm halfway through because they got distracted, or for whatever reason, they park it despite whatever good intentions they had in the beginning. And I honestly feel in those situations, it's no different than, let's say, ordering a pizza and then only eating half of it, or maybe not eating it at all and having a chicken salad. I mean, who's going to call the pizza place back and say, hey, I changed my mind. I didn't eat the pizza. Can you give me back my money? Well, no, right? That's ridiculous. The pizza was delivered. There was nothing wrong with it. What the client chose to do with it was their problem and their decision. Your intellectual property is worth way more than pizza, right? So the client, they absolutely have the right to choose not to use it, but in the end, they still received all of it. And that's why I recommend any refund policy for these kinds of programs. 1, limits the time they can ask for it, and 2, requires them to submit their completed coursework, showing all of their effort and showing you that it didn't really work for them. We're really strict about that in our business. And I suggest you are too, because it's not possible to guarantee results if the clients aren't willing to do the work. So I think it's only fair to ask them to show up and fully participate. Now, by asking clients to do this, you're going to find that you're going to have very few refund requests, because first of all, this type of refund policy means that you're only attracting 100% committed clients who believe in personal responsibility and personal accountability. And even for the odd request you do get, don't just give the money back. Have a conversation with the client because they're struggling. Find out where they're stuck, and you're going to find out that they likely have good intentions. They just don't know what to do next. And I'm telling you, by giving them a hand where they're stuck, they're going to move forward. And again, it's unlikely they follow through with their refund request because you showed them you have their back. Now, there are a few other ways that you can structure your refund policies that really show your clients you stand behind your work and they're also fair to you. And I've shared the ones we use in our business in this week's handout, and I hope you find it really helpful in coming up with your refund policies. The thing to remember is refund requests are really not the end of the world. It happens to every entrepreneur, every company at some point in their business. And stepping up as the CEO of your business by having a policy and having a plan in place long before you ever need it, you're going to find that there's really nothing to fear. It's actually not a big deal. If you found today's episode valuable, please share it with somebody who you know needs it and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to have you there. And more importantly, what I'd love you to do is leave me a comment below this video and let me know what you found most helpful and what strategies you're going to implement in your business. And if you have specific questions or you need more help, then I would love to invite you to join me live each week and after the episode in my free Facebook community. All you have to do is go over to livingforwardcommunity.com, click the Join Now button, and join us on the inside.